What's up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be coaching a Fiora player who's fairly new to Fiora and is playing in the gold elo. This is going to be a good video for you if you do not understand wave management, prioritize vitals, positioning with vitals, and generally using your riposte. Now, before we jump in, I do just want to say, if you aren't using my Mobifier guide, I update it daily. You guys can find that in the description down below. It goes over items, runes, as well as any differences or changes with Fiora or different matchups. So use it as a reference before you jump into the games. It definitely helps out a lot. And if you can give that an upvote, that also helps me out a ton. On top of that, I do want to add, if you want a free coaching session, all you have to do is just watch my stream and you'll accrue channel points just by watching or just keeping the stream open. And eventually you can use those points to cash in for a free coaching session. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link down below, follow me on my Twitch page. You could also join the Discord if you want to be notified when I go live. And just watch the stream and you'll accrue enough points to get a free coaching. And last but not least, just to help you through this video, if you look at the time and you scroll through, you could scroll to different sections of the video where I kind of emphasize on different points, again, like wave management, doing different combos and all that stuff. So if you want to skip ahead, if you have a general understanding of wave management, you could skip that section and move a little bit forward just to kind of make sure that the video isn't too long for you. That being said, enjoy the video. And 100%, I will say, again, Fiora is like a harder champion to learn just because you have to have an understanding of the other champion as well as, have like decent timing. So I would say spam a bunch of games. I saw you had already a lot of games, but just keep spamming games and try and like build that confidence, because a lot of this game is, very quick paced. So if you ever hesitate, or if you ever, if you're ever questioning yourself, you're going to usually not play play to the best of your ability.
Yeah, I'll out myself. I'm level 300 on my support account, gold, but very
a support
bad
account, you said?
Top play. Yeah, support account. So I know what all the champs do and stuff. I've never played top lane until like this year. Okay.
All right. So again, speaking here that you have grasp, you should be, again, it's a very like early game or laning phase strong rune. So you should be positioning yourself like really far up in this matchup. And again, also, I'm sure you're not aware of Fiora's strengths yet, but Fiora is strong very early in the game. Level 1, she can almost beat majority of the laners, Tahm Kench being one of them. The only issue with Tahm Kench is that he does also take grasp. So he's going to be, having a lot of healing as well. But you took it. So you can just go right up in his face and you should honestly just attack him. Hitting those vitals and positioning yourself on them is going to be massive. Now, do you know how Fiora's vitals appear?
Yeah, it's every 15 seconds. It's like top and right, and then bottom and left. Perfect,
yeah. So basically what you want to do is, and let me know if you could see this little marker that I'm going to draw, because it wasn't working before.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
All right. So like you said, it's going to be top and it's going to be to the right. And then also you have left and bottom. It'll never be like, it'll always be split on that line.
Yeah.
So right now the vital is on the top side. So even before you guys kind of did this little trade that you did, you should have already positioned yourself up here to attack that top vital. Then as soon as you attack it, you get a movement speed boost. So you should immediately walk to this southern hemisphere. Again, position yourself for those vitals, you hit it, and then once you hit it, use that movement speed to walk yourself back up. No matter what, in this scenario, you will always win level 1, especially since you took grasp, because it's that strong early on. See how you position? So again, you kind of pad the bot there. You always want to gravitate towards those vitals. And even when you didn't do that, you see how you already won that trade, like, immediately?
Yeah.
Okay. See, now you're starting to be aggressive, but he already has the passive stack on you, so it's going to be a little bit harder for you. And then he gets the stun off. So again, when playing against people like Tahm Kench, you want to use the minions to your advantage because his Q doesn't go through it. So you can see that you have a lineup here, and you kind of just like walked back and forth in that lane when you probably could have just walked up to block that. Okay, you got level 2. You could have just jumped right on him and just queued onto him and expect that he would probably try and use his Q next, and you could have reposted it. And before he hits even level 2, you probably could have at least took his HP down, or if not, killed him. Okay. Let me see that repost again.
No.
I heard you chuckle. All right, so we saw that he used his Q. So you have your Q up. One thing to mention, you can kind of use your Q, even if you're like in melee range, just to get an extra auto attack off. So in this scenario here, just to get extra damage off and proc your grasp, you use your Q there. You see your Q is up in another 3 seconds. Even though you're low HP, you have grasp, so you heal off of vitals and you heal off the grasp, which you do here. Good. That repost. Let's see. All right. Just the waves pushing into you. You have Wukong here, so this is fine that you went with this repost. It doesn't really matter. You applying that slow with the repost is completely fine. You are giving him a little too much respect because, one, you already know Wukong's here. He's already completely out of position. The only way he escapes is with his W. You already slowed him with your W. There's nothing really much he could do. If he tries to all in you here, he doesn't kill you in time, and he also will not be able to escape. So considering your Q is on cooldown and you have that vital facing on the outside, I would have just immediately, you know, padded upwards towards that vital. Again, similar to what I said before, as soon as you hit that vital, immediately start walking. Use that movement speed to position yourself, because even if you don't have Q, you probably would have, you know, by the time he finishes W, you would have been positioned here. And then Wukong has red buff, which slows, so you probably could have ended up catching up to him to either get the kill yourself or, you know, bait out the rest of his abilities or flashes. Okay, so you ended up catching him anyways. Oh, the flash!
Ah, I tried to flash. I tried to flash.
My eyes. All right, so even if you get a gank like that, don't flash to take the kill. Don't flash for any of that. Just, you know, you already have an advantage by them dying because of the wave state. So they might lose minions, or you might get a better back. They may lose a you know, a teleport, whatever it may be. But don't try and flash to secure the kill unless you're like, you know, smurfing or something and you just want to snowball really quickly.
Okay.
Because you could definitely use that flash later on. What is this Master Yi doing? That was also way too close for my liking. Let me see that repost one more time as well. So we know his Q, he used his Q. Okay. So you kind of use your repost a little early. I mean, it's fine, but you can see here, he just auto-attacked Wukong, and you're already reposting before he's able to, you know, get his attack off. There's at least another second in there that you could have gotten an auto-attack off of, and then you could still land that repost or start the repost when he starts his auto-attack. That's just kind of, you know, like a minute thing that you can work on, but it definitely helps out to know either the ability or the attack that somebody's going to be doing, because it could definitely save your life like it would have here.
Yeah.
So do you know anything about wave management?
No, that's why I'm here.
Okay. All right. So just to kind of explain, what was that?
Yeah, a big chunk of why I'm here is I just don't understand how to like wave manage at all.
Okay. So just to kind of split the map up here, I'll just kind of do it like this. Do you play support, you said, normally, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Generally, if you split the map or top lane like this, the map is so big now. Oh my god. You generally, if you have a positive of say 2 minions in this section or a positive of 3 here, it's generally going to freeze. Freeze meaning that once the next wave crashes at that moment, it's going to stay in that same place. Okay. And the same thing goes on this side of the map. It's additional minions. So let's say, for example, red is on top, blue is on bottom, and you're on blue side here, right? If there is, say, 6 red minions, if you wanted it to freeze, there would have to be 4 blue minions. Okay. So keeping that in mind, this is generally how you can, if you have a freeze. You'd like to freeze normally if, say that scuffle happened with you and Tom Kench, right? Let's say you killed him and then you're low HP. And in this section of the lane, there's +2 minions of the enemy, +2 red in that area. That's going to be a freeze. So then you can go for a back. You don't have to waste your teleport unless, maybe the enemy teleports as well and he's going to fast push it or, whatever it may be. But you can back and walk back to lane and the wave should still be in this zone, which is good. This is what you want. Another benefit of freezing, generally, if you are going to freeze, you want to be able to freeze closer to your turret. Benefits of this is you get ganks, right? That's kind of what happened before. Wukong was able to run up and Tom Kench had a long way to go back. And you were able to catch him even though he used his W and everything. Another benefit is not only do you get ganks, but it prevents the jungler from wanting to gank you. So there's a lot of things as to how wave management can benefit you in lane. So again, this is from this side of the map. You can see +2, +3. If you were to want to hold a wave closer to the turret, you would want probably about 4. Okay, and this goes on the other side as well. Basically, right outside of turret range is about +4. So if we look here at the minions, your next wave is crashing. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would slow push into you because there's a good number of red minions. Just to not confuse you here, this is the next wave, everything below here. So you only have 4 blue to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're kind of low HP. You want to kind of consolidate all of their HPs together to kind of think of it as like a full wave or not. So this is not really like a full wave with the red here, considering they're low HP. So this wave is not horrible. You technically don't have to teleport to it, but it would start to slow push in the other direction, and you would lose that gold. Now, speaking of slow pushing, just again to go a little bit more in depth of wave management, if it does start slow pushing in his direction, you will slowly lose the gold and experience from these minions. For the most part, the golden experience is very beneficial in the early stages of the game. That's when you're going to be able to snowball and everything, or you may lose that lead. So you just want to keep that in mind. And yeah, does that make sense? I know wave management is one of those things that like it makes sense to people who like get it, but for people who are like still in the beginning stages, it can sound like I'm talking a completely different language. But for the main, concepts, do you understand it? Do you want me to clarify?
No, I think what you're saying makes sense. I think more interestingly, like I'm confused on like, let's say I keep it at that like 3 or 4 like minion range. Like I'll freeze it just outside my tower. And then I want to like keep it there permanently. But like as my wave goes up, like as my next wave reinforces, like then I start to like slowly push out, and like I usually what happens is I'll freeze, and then like by the next wave or like in 2 waves, I'm pushing with like a giant wave, like slow pushing with a giant wave, and that's not really what I want. It just kind of happens.
Okay.
So how do I like keep it frozen? Like what am I doing wrong? I don't know.
The easiest way to keep it frozen is always going to be like in this area to have at least +4. If you want, you can even have it be +5, but just once the minions are done killing your wave, you're going to have to tank some of the shots, which, isn't beneficial. So generally, you just want to keep it there. If, say, for example, you break that freeze and it starts slow pushing back towards the enemy tower, usually if it's slow pushing, I would recommend slow push 1 wave. Once the second wave appears, fast push it. The reason being is that you don't want to slow push it so much that the enemy minions don't really kill yours, because then it's kind of like saving your minions to deliver to the enemy laner once they arrive.
Yeah.
So if you're going to slow push,
Okay,
just slow push once and then fast push the next. So you don't, have a huge buildup unless you're really coordinated and you are duo with a jungler or something and you can like get a big, minion pile and then dive the enemy laner. But realistically, that's probably not going to be happening.
No, definitely not.
All right, so let's see. Here you get, okay, that's standard. Actually, let me see how much gold you had. You had, okay, you were just short of time at. Generally, I would always say to get time at first. Do you normally get time at if you have the gold for it? Oh wait, I think you might have the gold for it. You did have the gold for it. Okay.
I blame the Fiora main subreddit. I buy Caulfield. Someone recommended that.
Okay.
Said it was better. I used to go team at, but not recently.
Okay. I'm going to not go on the Fiora mains Reddit anymore if this is what they're recommending. No, I think time at is 100% better. I think I actually saw that post. I think it was like earlier in the season when somebody had recommended something like that. But time at is just so much better because you not only get the AoE passive that does damage, but you also get the active. And are you comfortable with doing like the Fiora combos and stuff? Like, do you know how to auto Q, E, auto time at?
Rob, let's say no.
Okay.
Say no.
So one of Fiora's benefits is that she a lot of the times doesn't need to like attack speed doesn't really matter on Fiora because a lot of her damage comes from auto canceling. So basically, as soon as you auto, you want to E immediately after, and the time in between that you do that, the faster you do it, the more damage you're going to do. So auto, E, auto, and then time at is one combo, or you can auto Q, E, auto, and you kind of weave them in and out. The benefit of time at is that one, again, it adds to that combo where you're doing additional damage with the active. On top of that, you're also able to proc the vitals by using the active. So it definitely helps with your ult procking speed.
You can proc vitals with Tiamat active?
Yes. Yep.
You learn something new every day.
There you go. Well, I'd hope you'd learn something from this coaching session. So overall, it's just much better. And I know the argument somebody was making by going Caulfield or something, they were saying like, oh, like the stats per money you're spending technically are better because I think it's like higher AD or something, which sure. Yeah, but that's not accounting for the damage you're doing with the active as well and having the AoE damage. So overall, I think time at is a much better rush if you can buy it. If you can't, then, you buy components to, finish up your Ravenous as soon as possible, which is a very expensive item. Let's see. This wave is really massive, so you shouldn't try and attack him unless he does this, which he's kind of egoing. Okay, the riposte. Let's talk about that. So for the most part, one thing I would suggest, and I'm not really seeing it much of this game, but this is something that I like to usually say to a lot of people that I coach, is holding onto your riposte is usually much stronger than using it. The fear of you having it is going to make people play differently. As soon as you throw it out, they can just do whatever they want. So if this was somebody that, could play much more aggressive, not like a Tahm Kench, they would most likely try and, all in you here or something. Now, being that it is Tahm Kench, all Tahm Kench can really do is Q you with his stun in this particular scenario, or I guess W you and knock you up, but you're under turret. So what you should be doing is since he's not respecting you and he's just letting you attack him, you can straight up probably just kill him and chase him down the rest of the lane. Now, before this scuffle, I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth, but before this scuffle even happened, I said you probably shouldn't attack him because there's already a decent amount of minions here and you're going to be losing a lot of that gold, especially the cannon minion. So I would have probably, attacked him a little bit, but I probably would have cleaned up these minions first. Now, I'm assuming for this riposte here, you were probably doing it because you wanted to slow him.
I wanted to proc and I wanted to slow at the same time.
Okay. Almost never should you use your riposte like this to slow them or to like hit the vital or whatever in a scenario like this, unless you're trying to chase somebody who's already almost dead, or if you're trying to like QW to like, reach further out and then slow somebody for your team to catch them. Because in the scenario here, you're slowing him and you're going to get that slight movement speed, but you could have auto-attacked that Vital and you still would have been able to, run faster than him. I mean, he doesn't have any boots or anything, so you still are like equal movement speed, but as soon as you hit the Vital, you're moving faster. Okay. Which, by the way, also speaking of combos, do you know QW combo?
Is it when I W to slow and then I can jump closer? I don't know. I'm going to say no.
Okay. QW combo is basically you Q, and while you're dashing forward in Q, you press W, and you can actually move your riposte forward. And this is useful in, a lot of matchups. It's probably one of the better combos that I would recommend learning. For example, let's say Caitlyn had a trap on the ground. If you walk over it, you're stunned. If you're Fiora, you can QW, and you move through the trap. You nullify the stun, and you turn your riposte into a stun. Same thing with like a Veigar cage. If Veigar puts a cage up, you QW through it, you move onto him, and you can stun him with your riposte. Just another helpful, combo to learn. And the reason I mentioned it was that, again, unless you were trying to chase somebody and slow them down, you could like QW to reach out forward and slow them. But in a scenario like this, just hit that Vital, just chase them down. The issue you run into here is that, as I said, if you held your riposte or didn't use it, he wouldn't feel confident enough to be able to auto attack you and then try and stun you here to get away. But he's just existing. He's just vibing right now. And then he gets away.
Yep.
So you could have used your riposte if you held it to try and stun when he got that stun off on you. Or if you dodged that stun, you could have held it for maybe the W, try and scare him a little bit. Okay. Again, using your riposte just a little too aggressively. You should just fast push this. This is one of those scenarios where the wave you can see is building up. You should just push that wave as fast as possible. That's a good cue. Again, just get that easy Vital. Proc the grasp without getting too in his face. A benefit of the Q poke is that it's a much larger range than your auto attack is. So, you don't have to get right up in his face. Now here you should just back. You're not really going to be able to dive him unless Wukong comes. Realistically, maybe instead of backing, you should like go towards Wukong to kind of like cover him while he's doing grubs, or even help with grubs. But okay, yeah, don't use the replays like that. you use it like on cooldown. If you look at it, the riposte is like a 22-second cooldown. So right now, you don't really know where the jungler is, do you?
No.
Okay, we don't have vision of the jungler. He's most likely going to be topside. Let's see. Yep, right there.
Oh yeah.
We know he's going to be topside probably because he started the same route as Wukong, and Wukong is top, as well as grubs are up. So you being pushed forward, remember how we were talking about wave management before? You are perfectly aligned where he wants you to. He wants you as far up the lane because if we look at the map, you have to go a very long way. And Yi, he doesn't have a stun or anything. He just wants to one-shot you, and he can run very fast, so he can chase you down this lane. So you're in their, optimal spot. And on top of that, you just used your W to, I don't know what you did it for a minion. All right. And there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do a slow push, and then this should be the fast push. So you should be autoing, you should be queuing, you should be Eing. Use all three of those: auto, Q, E to fast push as much as possible. I see you rust the Caulfield. All right, but you should fast push this so this collapses with the turret, because you can see here when you slow push this second wave, you have these little minions, and they're not killing any of this. You're basically just, keeping and collecting this whole thing to deliver to Tom, and it's just gonna, he's just gonna walk right to his lane, and he's gonna have all of that for him.
Yeah. Okay. So like this, I'm happy that like it was this game that it happened, because this is a constant issue for me that I just can't wave manage, right? And then I'm giving it all like, free CS, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. So he's just walking up now. He's feeling all big and tough. He has Bramble. The Riposte. If you're gonna repost,
constant theme.
if you're gonna repost anything versus Tahm Kench, it's gonna be when he has 3 stacks on you, and then the Q he could do would be a stun. You could also repost his ultimate with his R, or again when he does his W. But aside from that, do not repost.
It's a long game, man. There's a lot more to go. I mean, someone needs a repost counter in chat.
Yeah, right. Okay, good poke. He has Bramble now. Bramble is kind of just like one of Fiora's biggest counters early game, so you just have to respect it. It's not too bad of an issue when you finish Ravenous. Oh my god, it hurts me every time seeing these reposts, man. Yeah, you need to play some AP Fiora so that W does some damage. All right, just getting eaten alive. I like the confidence of jumping back in there. Let's just see that a bit. So again, basically just to explain what happened here, you were taking very short trades with him. You both have grasp, right? So you both have sustain and lane. But the issue is that now he has Bramble, which is cutting your healing. So you're not healing as much as he is now. You technically could still win this trade because your ultimate is much stronger than his ultimate is. But you just kept taking those small trades. He just kept out healing you, and he does do a decent amount of damage. Now here, you Q out, and you could see as soon as you have the stacks, and he does have ultimate, he's most likely going to ult immediately as you go over here. There's a couple of different scenarios when you are playing Fiora versus different champions on knowing when to repost. One of those is going to be if they can guarantee kill you. So here, your health is so low, he's going to guarantee kill you if he hits ultimate, if he ults you. So that you should, no matter what, just repost. As soon as you land that Q and you're on the other side, just repost. Another combo, just to mention, considering your ult is up, you could have killed him here. A combo is that you ult and W at the exact same time. You might press the R key like a second earlier than the W. But essentially what it does is it puts the ult down, and you'll notice when you use Fiora's ult that you can't hit the vitals like exactly right then and there. There's like a slight delay. That slight delay is in perfect time with your W. So if you ult W him here, you'll put your ult down, you'll W him and stun him, and your W will also hit that first vital that's facing you.
Okay.
So then you can just walk around. I would say, if you're just to kind of tell you also a full fast way of proccing it would be to ult W. You knock off that first vital facing you. Yep. I don't like the pink. You knock that first one off. You can walk to the side here and auto that one. You can Q to the bottom one here, and then you can walk back up for the bottom, the left one, and use your E. Again, using that as a auto cancel. And then also, if you had time at, you could have used time at in any of that as well. Just an extra tip, again, since I know you're new with Fiora, something to mention is, let's say Tahm Kench was positioned over here, okay? Yep. And let's say we landed a stun and we did the ult and we did this first proc at the very top.
Yep.
Which vital do you think we should do next?
Oh, I feel like the right answer is I should be going left because if he walks the wall, then I can't proc it later.
Perfect. Good answer. You always want to go towards the side that has the wall closest to it because you don't want him to hug it and then you're fucked. So you would go left and then you would go bottom and then you would go right. Yep. Perfect. So there was a world here where you could have killed him here, but you don't have to play that. You don't have to play that risky. Let's see. What do you get now? All right. So you went vampiric. I got to see how much gold you had. Did you have enough for time at?
I don't think I would have bought vampiric if I didn't have enough for time at.
Okay, you didn't. All right, you're forgiven.
All right. Okay.
What up, Sonia? Okay. Support Ash is taking farm. We love that.
Yeah.
So again, you fast push. That's a good fast push. Okay, you guys are just kind of perma pushing it. I would have been spam pinging this Ash to leave, or I would run the game down, but you're respectful about it. Okay, that wave is pretty big, so I wouldn't trade with him. Okay, so you ended up getting the kill again, but this is one of those scenarios where as the wave is coming into you, I would not be trying to trade with him at all. Because one, you're going to be taking minion damage, which isn't too bad for Fiora. You know, you heal off of vitals and everything, but you're missing a lot of CS. He does have Bramble, so attacking him there does help. I would not have chased him right away. I would have gotten this, these minions, because I don't think he had vision. Let's see. No, red. Yeah, he didn't have vision of Wukong. So if you didn't chase him, he wouldn't have kept running. You could have farmed this, and then Wukong could have, you know, came in and ganked him earlier in the wave.
Okay.
Just because this is like the second or third time where you've kind of ran away from full waves, and you know, you're missing a decent amount of gold and experience from it. Here, you did use Riposte pretty well because you did slow him enough for Wukong to catch up. That was a good Riposte. It could have been another QW, as I mentioned before, to kind of guarantee that he doesn't like flash out, but you could practice that now. All right, got a couple of plates. They teleport in. I think it's fine for you to back because you don't have mana. We finally have Ravenous. We love that. So now this is a big power spike for Fiora. Even if he has Bramble and his item, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. You do like an immense amount of damage. That everything I told you before about that wave being big and you not being able to, you know, or trying not to fight in big waves is completely thrown out the window because Ravenous is a disgusting item. So you could straight up just ult this guy and just kill him. That's how strong Ravenous is on Fiora. Oh my god! It doesn't get better, does it?
It does not get better, man. The whole game. I'm so sorry.
My man teleported to lane and just threw his Riposte out the window. So right here, aside from the Riposte, we put that and we completely wiped my brain of seeing that. He's just stepping up. He's like completely disrespecting you. You're using your E now to like clear the wave, which is again good. You know, you using or you cleaning up the wave so you don't lose that gold. But I probably would have saved the E slow for him being under turret for, you know, locking him under there for a little longer. You should just chase him down. He's dead. Even if you have to flash onto his W if he tries to escape, you should win. Okay. One thing to keep in mind is that for champions that do have escapes, you know, you could say like a Jax, an Akali, Graves has a dash. Anybody who has a dash, if they hug a wall or if they hug an area that they can usually go over, try and hold your Q. You don't necessarily have to use it for a vital or an auto cancel because you want it if they try and escape. Same thing here. You knew he still had W up. Although Wukong was here to help you, you know, maybe just hold on to it because you didn't necessarily need it. I saw you tried to do the flash W again. Now that you know that you have QW, you'd want to hold on to the flash for a little bit longer. Okay, there's just a shenanigans over here. Their jungler not being positioned well. Okay, you guys kill. Vigar has balls of steel. So again, another scenario, you could QW through this wall and you would stun him and you would probably just be able to kill him immediately. Said we're chasing, which is fine.
Oh boy.
I mean, the Riposte isn't horrible. What I would have probably done is, you know, Fiora's ultimate isn't that long of a cooldown. It's only 90 seconds. I would have probably just ulted him and just killed him. That way also this Ashe wouldn't inevitably die. Keeping that in mind, realistically, what are you going to be doing for the next 90 seconds? You have a lot of gold on you. You took a tower, you killed Tom Kench, you killed their jungler, or you assisted with it. So you're going to want to back anyways. So using your ultimate here while you have it isn't too bad. Helping with Herald is fine. You took the top tower, so the wave's not bouncing back. That's probably another thing I should mention. Do you understand how waves bounce back with wave management? You know, if you push it into the wave and it comes back?
No.
Okay, so basically it's like ping pong. Like it'll, you know, if we could focus at the map at the bottom right, you know, you have a tower here and you have a tower there. As soon as you push a wave into the tower, it's going to immediately start coming back towards you. And again, that's when you can start thinking about freezing. You don't have to necessarily, I guess since you're getting used to it, maybe you'll want to count the minions as they come. to know like what stage the wave is in. Certain champions you're going to want to play differently. As soon as you get time at, you can't really freeze and you can't really do all that so well. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the benefit of getting Ravenous is that you get to shove the minions into the tower for it to bounce back. And that's called setting a timer for yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. So for example, let's say we're still in laning phase and you already have time at. And let's say grubs are coming up. Let's say it's earlier in the game. If you had time at, and let's say Tom Kench is kind of not really trading with you. He's playing like a little bitch. He's sitting under his tower. You can use your time at to fast push the wave once it crashes in the middle. And the next wave is going to still be coming out of the base. So essentially what happens is you fast push this wave. It crashes at the turret. The enemy top laner is going to have to be at the turret to collect that wave. Otherwise, they're losing, golden experience. And the next wave isn't going to crash in the center for like, let's say like an extra like 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. That gives you 30, 45 seconds to, if you look at the map at the bottom right, to run into the enemy jungle to try and invade them. This is something I like to do after the third wave in the very beginning of the game. It allows you to put vision down. It allows you to help, like I said, if grubs were up, it's a timer for you to go ahead and help elsewhere on the map and create pressure. So that's one benefit also of getting time at early, is that you can shove the wave if the person you're playing against is a little bitch, and you can just do stuff on the map. You could even, go mid, get a gank off, and return back top before the enemy crashes that wave as well. So it gives you a lot more options. So that's one more benefit, and how wave management works. Again, you shoving the wave, it'll bounce back to you, and you just want to make sure that you come back to catch it before it goes to your turret. All right. Whoa, Ash, what was that? What was that? All right. Another benefit, I will say, of ulting here, you ulted the tank, which is completely fine because your ultimate does, it does percent health damage. So ulting tanks is helpful to kind of just one-shot them in team fights. You ulted here, you attacked the vital, and then you reposted, which I don't know why you're reposting. But now you're kind of out of mana, which we'll see what happens. You got the healing down, which is good. Okay. And he almost killed you. But we're chilling. What is this Ashe doing? Alright, let's see. You bought... Are you going Trinity? Okay, I like Trinity. So here with Master Yikes, as he's coming into the lane here, a couple of things to keep in mind. You can't say yours. What do you mean? It is better. Anyways, so Master Yikes is coming into lane here. You Q the vital, which is good coming out of vision. I think that's good. But the repost again, you want to repost at the end of Master Yi's Q, because that's when the damage happens. When he starts queuing you and he goes invisible, the damage happens at the end. And then he has the auto attacks. Oh god, that fucking... What does he have? Oh, Kraken Slayer. I was like, damn, where did that chunk come from? So again, this could have been a scenario that you ulted and reposted. Master Yi, with his newer or most recent update, is that he used to appear behind you, but now he gets to choose where he wants to end up after the queue. Realistically, if you think he feels confident in killing you, he's going to always be in the direction of your turret. So keep that in mind. If he is using it to escape, again, he may go somewhere within this range towards his turret. So you can see here as well, at the end of his queue, at the end of his queue, he'll be at the bottom left of your screen because that's towards your turret, and then that's the direction also you should be reposting in. Okay. But he's just fucking strong as hell right now, so
yep.
We'll see how this goes. So knowing that Master Yi is also strong in this game, if we look at our team comp and we look who's strong, you can see Vel'Koz is doing a lot of damage here. So you should be making a couple of different decisions in your head. Okay, Fiora, for one, is very good at split pushing. So you do have teleport. You should be probably, most likely, the majority of the game in the side lanes. Okay. And splitting and looking to teleport. The issue with this is that Master Yi runs hella fast. So he could just completely run down your team, and that could be it. So you want to, again, kind of play towards your strengths. Your strengths being, again, your Vel'Koz, who's really strong. The Seraphine and the Ashe is kind of running it. But basically those squishies on your team, which Master Yi can kill. So as I mentioned before, you can use your ultimate in a team fight to completely take out the tank immediately because you have that percent HP. Or you can use it to defend and to kite your teammates. So for example, a team fight, I'm sure we'll probably run into it at some point in this game, might be that Master Yi just ults and completely runs to the back line. You should basically move directly on top of your Vel'Koz or whoever he queues, and as soon as he's done with the queue, put your ult on him and try and pop him. Try and kill him faster than the rest of your team can kill. All right? Okay. So again, the two different play styles is to go front to back, go from tank forward, or to pocket your carries. Okay. So considering your Vel'Koz is pretty strong, and that's so right here, you should immediately just try and hop on him. He's out of position. Ashe should be doing something. Okay, so you guys basically did it. It was kind of sloppy from all aspects, even Master Yi, but you guys did it anyways. Again, another scenario where you could have QW'd and not have to burn flash, but again, this is something new that you learned. And you're holding onto your ultimate. Again, as we go later in these games, a lot of Fiora's cooldowns become lower. Let's see at this stage of the game, it's only 60 seconds. Even if you just use your ultimate and just pop one vital, that's still going to be beneficial because you're going to heal off of that. You're going to be dropping the healing pool. So just keep that in mind. You do also get, remember I mentioned you have the movement speed from hitting vitals. With her ultimate, if you drop the ultimate, just being near that person, not even hitting a vital, you will get movement speed. So you could also use it to escape or, again, to catch other people. So try not to hold it as much, because there are some scenarios there where it's a little close. We can see that dragon's coming up. You do have Ravenous, so I know you are backing. Let's see how much gold you have. You only have 700 gold on you, and you're trying to do Trinity. You can back, or you could go bot lane and just shove that wave. With Ravenous, you would have healed it back up anyways. Okay. Now, you did go Ionian Boots, which is okay. Realistically, a lot of their damage, if we're looking at the scoreboard, is Master Yi and MF. A lot of their damage is AD, so I realistically would have gone with more defensive boots. You don't really need the extra cooldown, but that one could be up for debate. Okay, so you go straight for the backline here. This is also a viable thing that you can do in team fights. So I mentioned front to back tank. I mentioned you protecting your back line. You could go straight to the back line like you did here. But again, your team is not necessarily as strong as theirs is right now. So I would have just protected your team. Now, it does look like Master Yi did end up dying here. So this is still good for you guys. And honestly, at this stage of the game, I could call it as you guys winning. So I don't know. We'll have to see where the mistake is made. Oh, oh, okay. I like the confidence. You said you didn't have confidence, but you got confidence to do this, man? What is this? My guy says I don't have confidence, and he goes, "Come here, MF." Straight up whispering in her ear at the tier 2 turret.
There was a mental gap there where let's go to the next play.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, my advice for that would be to not. There's not much coaching I can give you on this one aside from just not. I mean, what you could have done with your positioning being this far up is maybe just kind of kill this wave. Again, you have Ravenous, so you'll heal up a bunch. She's taking this wave, but you can position yourself like right over here. Like pull the wave and just take it all. This would actually probably be the most beneficial thing to do because your team's trying to do dragon, and this wave that's coming up will push forward, and then it makes them have to respond to protect the turret. So that probably would have been most optimal, is take that wave and then probably just make your way down here towards dragon, or even hop over this wall to get back to your team over here because they're getting collapsed on. Oh,
okay.
All right, so your team takes dragon. Let's see, what are you buying? Still finishing out Trinity. It's a very expensive item.
Yep.
Okay.
Please
So that repost, we love that. Love that for you.
Yeah.
Balls deep. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
hold on. I think you had ultimate again, did you?
Probably. Yeah. Now that you're
Yeah.
mentioning it, I don't use it as much as I should.
Yeah. So what you
At
could have
all.
done here, again. Okay, so you repost the slow. If in that case you're afraid of the slow, whatever it may be, sure. You could have used your Q to dodge her tornado, but no. Yeah, this was just overall kind of sloppy. I would have just not even gone for the Janna. I would go straight for the MF too. Use the tornado that comes from Janna to stun the MF.
If I, oh yeah, hold on. So if I use someone else's like stun or knockup, and I'm reposting someone else, it'll also stun them.
Yeah, so basically think of it as like you negate any damage and any stun that comes to you. If a stun comes to you, it turns yours into a stun, no matter who you're targeting. It just kind of enables your ability to become a stun, so you can use it to focus other people.
Okay, I don't know that.
Okay, Master Yi is just really strong. At this point of the game, also, I would say to switch out your yellow trinket for a blue trinket. The benefit of that on Fiora is that you can ward from really far away without having to step out. So it allows you to still split push. Okay, you teleported to that tower. I probably wouldn't have. I would have saved it because I don't think he was going to take it, but we'll see. Because now the issue is that since you used your teleport, your team is now fighting mid, and you can't do anything about it. You can split push, and you can apply pressure, but the enemy team knows that you don't have teleport. So they know that, you know, they could see you here. They know they win this fight.
Yep.
And that's what happens. He just runs you down. That turret gold is good for you. This definitely is going to help you finish Trinity because it is a lot of gold. I don't know what you're doing next. We'll see. Ravenous activation should have killed her. He used Ravenous already for that Janna kill. Okay, good. See, you did. That was actually good right there. You didn't use your repost because you didn't necessarily have to. And again, holding it makes them play worse. You saw how she was kind of like moving left and right. Like she was like frantically kind of like walking like forward and back when, you know, she knew she couldn't kite you. You had red buff and you used your E. You slowed her. She was just trying to move away from the repost. And because of that, it was because you still had it. You know, holding it can sometimes be stronger than using it. I don't know why Ashe is still on top of you. Okay, yeah, Master Yi is basically all of their gold. So if you just kill him, then you win. And you know his goal is going to be for going for the squishies, so... Fiora is very strong into, like, almost any matchup. Like, you should have, like, a lot of confidence going into almost anyone, even if they are as ahead as Yi is. Again, QW, just to kind of turn his stun against him.
Yep.
They're shoving mid. Again, Ashe, I don't know why she keeps going to you. At this stage of the game, you guys are like, you're trying to play against Yi with like not a whole lot of guaranteed stun, which is always difficult. There was a lot of mistakes that everyone kind of made that got him that fed. It again still is winnable if you guys kill him. So again, right here, boom. He did exactly what we said he's going to do. He's going to try and go for the back line. He queued that Ashe. You should immediately ignore everyone. Just lock on that Master Yi. Ult him. Do whatever you have to do and kill him. Okay, there's the ult. The repost was a little bit early, but you got the kill anyways. All right. That flash probably wasn't necessary because your Q was off cooldown already. Yeah, so if you didn't flash there, you probably could have got her too. Okay, we're cleaning up. Use your Q. I like the thumbs up BM. Let's go. Okay, so you got a lot of gold from this. You're shoving this. There's no objective right now. I would shove, and then I would have backed. Yep. This is, I mean, this is part of wave management, right? This is what you said that you're trying to work on. So that's good that you recognize it. If we're looking right now at the map, we know that there's a lot of people who are alive. The only one who's not alive is Vigar. And your map is very empty. We can also see that the Dragon and the Baron are coming up soon, but there's no solid objective that's currently up. So keeping that in mind, you almost never want to go on the enemy team's side of the map. You want to split it kind of in half. As soon as you start going onto this side, even though there's no turrets to back you up, most likely you're going to be closer to the enemy team because you're closer to their base, right? You know, they can spawn from base and run to you quicker than your team can spawn from base and run to you. So just thinking about that, the last wave you would ever want to push would be somewhere in this range. If you're pushing a wave anywhere further and you haven't seen anybody on the map, just expect that they're going to be coming for you. All right, especially if you have a Master Yi. So you push this wave and it gets you killed. With his items, he's basically full build. Yeah, I don't think you would have been able to win that.
Yeah.
And now Master Yi just gets to get Baron for free. Okay, you just push top. There you go bot, and you run into him again. Gotta sped through that again, let me see. Yeah, this stage of the game, it's like you guys just have to kill Yi or you just lose. And you guys are kind of out of position. So, as I said before, Fiora can basically kill anyone, but when Master Yi is full items and you've only gotten 3 and he has 3 levels on you, or sorry, 2 levels on you, there's almost no way that you can kind of win. He just kind of destroys. Again, if you are going to take that fight in any scenario to maybe stall for somebody, which you potentially maybe could have stalled since your team is collapsing around, I would have probably ulted him immediately and played around. Yeah, you actually, now that I think about it, your team was there. You actually could have killed him here. So just to dissect it, let me show you. Because Master Yi is completely out in the wild here. Let's see where the team is. Yeah, he is so overextended. You guys probably could have won right here. This is probably what threw the game, but you guys could have won. For one, you immediately Q in, which Q was on a very low cooldown at the stage of the game, but you probably could have just walked up to him and gotten that auto. Because remember, Q's, E's, and your time at active all are auto cancels, meaning that you can chain them together, again, to increase that damage. So if you walk directly to him, ult him, and then you auto this vital, you can immediately Q to the next one. Instead, you Q, and then you do an auto, which is just your normal auto attack speed. So I would have ulted him already. You're running away instead of autoing and running. You're just letting him get free damage, and then you choose to repost here. Again, remember, repost at the end of his Q. You can see he was still somewhat confident because he did kind of end his Q towards you a little bit. But you most definitely probably could have killed him there. You guys did end up getting the kill, but I don't think it was enough. I think you guys committed too long. Yeah, and they have Baron, so they could just shove and end.